shop on Main Street. I had no idea the hunters that came in the fall and in the winter. You know, I knew when turkey hunting was happening. You know, I wasn't a hunter or anything like that, but if they didn't get their trophies, they wanted to spend their money, you know, and I am very tied to northern New Mexico too, in business and in knowledge, and the NRA, the women from there, you know, when all the guys were shooting, would come up and shop here in Trinidad. You know, these were in other days. I don't have a shop here anymore, so I don't know if that's still true. But everybody's brought up, I know there's great trout fishing because my late husband trout fished successfully all over this land, you know. And I have truly loved Trinidad ever since I first landed here. I love the land around it. So I believe in all the outdoor activities that are flourishing now that I did long ago, you know, many, many times. Kayaking, mountain biking, you know, as vehicles, really, you know, not always as fun, you know, but to get to work and things like that. And so I just think that this area, I have always felt it's got untapped natural resources that all of these new businesses in town are really motivating people to participate in. So my biggest concern, and it's been brought up, you know, Mayor, you said, what about the added 3%, you know, lodging tax? And I look at the tax that people pay on cannabis, and I think for a nice place to stay here, people won't budge about an extra 3%. And I did a lot of business in the visitor industry in Hawaii, and their tax now for transient is like 23% on lodging. Yeah, and what they were wondering, you know, but they've got to slow their tourism. And one thing that I really identify with that they're facing now and have always faced, but there weren't the numbers of visitors, is the impact on the community. And I know that if you do business here and you go place to place, all the maintenance guys around, and you know me who does outcalls and stuff like that, you know that it's heavily trafficked, you know, and all of us have to become accustomed to it. But, you know, we laugh and say, you know, a drive to Pueblo is more like the Pueblo to Colorado Springs sometimes, you know, and the summertime traffic that used to be here is here year round. And so summertime is double that, you know. So I think I just have concern, and I heard people speak to it kind of back here, but you know, how do we draw the people of Trinidad, you know, the worker bees of Trinidad, you know, to believe that visitors are valuable. Tourism tourist was a bad word in Hawaii. We associated people who came there as our guests. They were visitors. And that is what I experienced when I first landed here in Trinidad. Every place I went, you know, people smiled and welcomed and were willing to share, and just incredible people, you know. And a lot of those people don't even come downtown anymore. You know, they don't. I got on this big kick about the river walk, you know, that I kept hearing it was unsafe, and I'm like, really, you know. And, you know, I actually have enjoyed being here for the whole time, because the addressing the homeless here in town is a huge deal, you know. I worked the farmer's market for years, and it's changed a little bit, you know, the feel with homeless, and I'm not a scaredy cat, so I didn't ever mind going to the bathroom if there were guys hanging out there and stuff like that. But other people have expressed that they feel at risk because they see needles and stuff like that. So I just think not just the money that's involved, which is what you're approaching today, you know, I think Trinidad is a valuable place to be. And, you know, everybody who's visited me here over the years, and people know about Philmont, and they associate Trinidad with Philmont. You know, I mean, it's huge. People know about this place. And I don't hear about sex change anymore. I mean, I've been to Taos and people go, "Where are you from?" That's what they say. And I say Trinidad. And they go, "Oh, we hear it's the last affordable place in Colorado." And it's great fun, you know, mountain bikers or, you know, all these people, and I agree with them. So the word is out, you know, and I think that when Mayor, you said, you know, when we go other places and we present ourselves, you know, if people like us, they say, "Where are you from?" You know? Yeah. And it's just, I just think this place, if somebody could project that, and everything you were talking about, I'm sorry, I didn't bring my water back, my mouth's so dry. Everything you talk about with, you know, I agree that a focus with the outdoors is important and the arts is important, but I think the children of this town are important. I think the people of this town that have been through all the ups and downs, I've been through quite a number of them, you know, are important too. So however this board projects itself to the community, you know, the community needs to know that this is not gonna mess their lives up, you know, that it's gonna be a good thing to have a lot of visitors here, okay. You know, yeah.
Questions?
No, thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you.
You know, it's really interesting, all the people that we interviewed, every one of them brought a unique perspective to this, you know, and it's made me think of how this affects everybody. But, you know, you're a woman of many talents as well, so I have to ask you, why did you want to be on this board, and what talent do you have, Marilyn?
Fred, I think I talk less. I think I listen more. Actually, I do. Yeah, I do think that I listen really well. I could repeat everything that everybody expressed.
We don't want to be here too.
No.
Let's not.
I'm like, geez, you know, but I loved hearing everything that everybody expressed and what all of you expressed, you know. And, you know, I don't know, you know, as I sit here too, I think, you know, like in a heartbeat, you know, I'm not a competitor. I would bow out if I felt 5 other candidates were better or more suited for this, you know. And so I'm not sure I'm one of those 5. I'm honest too.
Yes, you are.
Thank you. Anything?
No, thank you for being honest.
Yeah, holy smokes. One thing I really like about what you brought up is that you're reminding us that part of the reason that we've changed this ordinance is so that we can also fund quality of life events and programming. And so I think that is an important voice on that board, because it addresses a lot of those, you know, what about the people who live here who are affected by tourism? And it also is a tourism draw because people who come here and see great amenities for the people who live here have a positive reaction to the city. So I think there is a place, and I appreciate you being here.
Thank you. Thanks for stating quality of life, because I think that a lot of times places that get totally involved in wanting to be a destination forget that people come here for the quality of life.
Well, and you know, that's how I came here. I was a tourist, and I came here and I was like, this is a cool place. And that's why I'm excited about tourism, because I want more amazing people
to share it.
Yes, to come here. So thank you. I don't have any other questions.
Thanks.
No questions, but thank you for coming. I appreciate
Thanks.
it.
So,
Good to see you.
sorry. Marilyn, after having the privilege of knowing you for some time, I can really attest to the fact that you are a phenomenal listener. And also, I'm not surprised at all that you really are approaching this from a holistic standpoint. I mean, that's something that's hallmark to you, I would say. So it's a phenomenal reminder, and I want to thank you for being here and being part of it. Thank you.
The only thing I wanna say is this, is you brought up something that really kinda struck me. Like you said, the word is out, you know, and I've experienced that with all the traveling that I've had to do during the last 7.5 years, and especially the last 3 years, basically, with everything that's been going on. But you mentioned, and maybe this is something that we need to look at. We look at people and we value them currently as tourists. Maybe we need to change that to value them as guests to our community.
Yeah.
Maybe that should be part of our tagline.
More personal.
It gets down to say, you're really welcome to our community. You're not just a tourist spending your money here. You're our guest. But we need to reach out with our infrastructure, with our businesses, to say, thank you for being our guest. Again,
That's good.
that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marilyn.
Thank you, Marilyn.
Well, for us, for city council, we have our work cut out for us. We've had a lot of good candidates. People have really expressed a lot of different opinions, some of them the same. But everybody has their heart set that they would like to make Trinidad a better place, or continue to be you know, from a quality of life to just enhancing what we do have. And I think that's something that we need to look at. All of the applicants that we have, it's gonna be an entirely new board, more than likely, we never know. But what's really interesting is that when we look at this, we need to look at hitting all engines, hitting all 8 engines, I guess, all 8, whatever. It's been a long night.
Been a long night.
But, you know, we need to look at the personal skills, the marketing skills. We need to look at the, do they have the finance or the background for, to handle the money that we have now, plus the money that we may have coming up if that happens, and how all this will work together. So we need to look and have a good broad perspective of a board that's gonna be able, because there's a good chance they're gonna be handling a lot of money.
Yeah.
So we need to look at the best possible board that we can put together. Because, as we know, tourism is the future for stability of this community and this area. We've seen the ups and downs of all the different businesses, from the, you know, gas industry, the mining industry, the marijuana industry. And I think that we just need to look at tourism as the stability for this community going forward, especially. We will continue to, and so you mentioned about trying to get an economic development organization in the community. That's important, that's super important. But for now, we build with the tourism industry and become more attractive to other industry as the time goes on. So I think that's really important. So, that being said, the process, I'm not sure if you want to explain the process of how we move forward with this, Mr. Ruder?
Mr. Mayor, we will bring forth the applications at next council meeting, and we'll look for nominations and votes to appoint 5 members.
Okay, and what I'll do is I'll get with you the best possible way to
Yeah.
move this, because, to do that next week. And
Absolutely.
we will make our decision, next Tuesday. I want to thank the council, your applications and your interest in the community. And I think you all did a really good job in your presentations.
Absolutely.
Thank you for the
Yeah.
long night. I appreciate your patience and through listening to everything. But thank you very much.
Mayor, I have a jingle.
Go ahead. Well, no, it's gotta be better than his.
That was a good one.
Karen Wolf wanted me to mention that we were having the tree planting at Los Niños at 5 o'clock, but I think the tree's probably grown.
There's 2 more.
All right, good night. Thank you very much.